Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back, since some of you subscribe to my channel, Journey with Janice, where we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in ourselves and the society around us. Today, I'm not gonna lie, we're getting into the ugly again. There's a lot of ugly out there. I'm not looking for it, it's just on the timeline. I wanted to talk a bit about relationships today. I am in one. I have been in a few relationships in my adult life. I'm not going to say I'm the best. Not going to say you should listen to advice from little old me. So this is not dating advice, rest assured. However, we are going to talk about our people that have not loved and lost. They just never loved at all. We are specifically talking today about the people that have never been in a relationship and post about it on the internet. Now, if you are under 21 and you have never been in a relationship, hey, things happen. People are strange. I'm not necessarily going to say that there's anything wrong with that. As someone who's pushing 30 soon, it starts to get strange. Yeah, the older that we get, and nobody likes you enough to stick around. I'm not saying that you're the problem. I am saying that you're the common denominator. Before I read people on the internet, let's at least hear some people out. So let's get into a few videos where these people explain why they've never been in a long-term relationship.
I'm 31. I've never had a boyfriend. I still live at home with my parents, and I used to be so embarrassed, so ashamed, and just totally felt like something was completely wrong with me. Like, why am I one of the only people that struggle with this? But over the year, I have realized that I'm not alone. And what I've done to make myself feel better about this is I've changed my mindset around being single, around not having a boyfriend yet, around still living at home with my parents at the age of 31. And instead of feeling sorry for myself and pitying myself, which is what I've done a lot in the past, I instead have changed my mindset to be like, things will happen when they're meant to happen. And I have not met my right person yet because I'm not ready for him. And I have not met my partner yet because I have been working on myself to get to a position where they have also been working on themselves. So if you're also single, if you've never been in a relationship, if you're still living with your parents and you're figuring your life out, or maybe you're happy doing that, don't feel like you're behind in life because you absolutely aren't. We're all on our own timelines. And I just want you to know that it's okay to feel sad and to feel lonely and to feel like you're behind. But I just want to remind you that you're absolutely not alone. Okay?
She is absolutely correct. You are not alone. We saw that comment section. They were going in. A variety of ages, 30, 20, 40. They've never been in relationships either. They're still living at home with their parents. You are not alone. Do I think that you're happy? Probably not. One piece of accountability that I did see in this video, she said, I'm not in a relationship because I've been focusing on me and I've been doing the work in myself. So that way I'm ready for a relationship when it comes. That is a step in the right direction. It's not a bad thing. We definitely do need to work on ourselves before we get into relationships with others. However, this thought process that, oh, I'm going to find someone that is also completely healed and worked on all of their stuff, isn't real. It's just a delusion. So let's remember, if you're working on yourself by yourself, that is really nice. There's also no one around you to trigger you. So when you get into a relationship with someone else, the triggers will happen and you will realize that you have way more to work on than you originally thought. And when you're ready for that discussion, or when we find someone to be with ever, come on back to this video. We'll chat.
Being in your mid to late 30s going upwards and never experiencing romantic love will honestly make you question your self-worth. The things that normal people are supposed to experience as young adults, and you've never experienced it, would make you wonder, like, is there something wrong with me? Is there something that I'm not doing right? Why am I having a difficult time experiencing something that normal people tend to experience? Going out on dates, being pampered, being told I love you, being spoiled, someone calling and checking in on you and caring about your day and your well-being and how you're doing and how you're coping with life. All those normal things that most people tend to experience, and you've never experienced that, will really make you question your self-worth. And for someone like myself to be such a hopeless romantic, it makes me wonder, like, why have I never experienced romantic love? What have I not done right in my life to never have experienced it? God, what am I doing wrong? You know, I can give, but I can never receive. So it always makes me wonder, like, dang, because I'm such a hopeless romantic. I love the idea of love. I've always been like a strong, hopeless romantic. And to never have experienced that in my life, it just makes you think like, oh, goodness sake. It sucks. It really, really sucks.
Hearing the description, I'm a hopeless romantic, but I've also never been in love, doesn't make sense, because I can't say I'm a scientist and then never taken a science class. I can't do that. I can't say I'm an engineer and I don't have an engineering degree. I've never been to school. I've never done any engineering. That doesn't make any sense. You are a fan of love. That is what it means to be a hopeless romantic, having never been in a relationship. That is, you are a fan of what you see. You look at stuff on movies and on social media and in TV shows and you think, wow, that is so amazing. I would just love to have that. That's all you are. You're just someone looking from a distance, admiring what you see, and forgetting that we're only seeing what the people want us to see. See, that's the thing. When we're hopeless romantics and we're so in love with the idea of love, but we've never actually been in love, you are in love with the fantasy of what you think love is. Because how would you know? Exactly. We don't actually know what love is. And the fact that we mentioned, I want someone to check in on me and like see how my day is going. I said, yes, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. I want someone to spoil me and take me out on dates. And okay, we're jumping into a little different territory, maybe. I'm not saying that people that love each other and go out on dates are not doing those things. But what I am saying is, if your response to I'm lonely and I've never been in love is I've never had someone spoil me and take me out on dates and love me the way that I've loved them, that could be a few things. We could be picking poorly. That's always an option. Or we could just have this idea of love that doesn't exist. Just my 2 cents. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yo, where are the girlies that never had a boyfriend? I'm 36. I've never had a boyfriend. Quite frankly, people think that I'm crazy, but I think that my first boyfriend is going to be my husband. I'm convinced, because number one, for me to even think about making you my boyfriend, I must really like you. I don't really be liking people like that. I want to be one of those girls that can like see people like, oh, I love him. I can't. I feel like I got too much common sense to just be falling in love. Love is a choice, babes. A choice. Sometimes I feel like I'm like too realistic for love. Like, I've always been a very logical girly. Like, I'm Delulu for fun. But I've always been a very logical girly where I'm like, yeah, this don't make sense. Yeah, this ain't gonna line up. Yeah, the way you live your life is not gonna rock with me. Yeah, I don't really see us having a future because this is what I want. I think I'm too logical. They always try to say girls are emotional. No, I'm logical. Like, there was this guy that I pretty much grew up with. I met him when I was like 19, and he was never my boyfriend, but we were like, I don't know, for years. And people always swore that I was going to end up with him, but I always knew in the back of my head that I wasn't. Like, I think his mama thought that we were going to end up together, and I always knew that we would not. I mean, I had a good time, but I knew that it wasn't it. It wasn't it for me. And for real, at this big age, I'm too old to be falling in love for love. Bro, it gotta make sense, hun. You know? We're going for stability, for how we're gonna make it to the end of life. I don't know. I want like a travel partner, a workout buddy. Like, I just want common sense things. I would like to not work as much, but in this economy, that might not be possible. I mean, I work part-time, preferably per diem. I ain't go through all this school to not work. But I would like to just hang up my degrees and be like, to my future kids, look, mommy wasn't dumb. She was actually really smart. She did all of the things, but your dad made life easier.
I'm trying to find nice words. There were several things in that video that I found interesting. First one, right off the bat, I'm crazy. Whoa. Okay. But then we also said, I have too much common sense for love. Crazy, common sense. Those are opposite ends of the spectrum, babe. They're not anywhere close to each other. We cannot be crazy and also have common sense. Both are not happening, at least not at the same time. Maybe sometimes we're crazy and sometimes we have common sense, and then we flip it. And if sometimes we're crazy and sometimes we have common sense, I can see why that stability that we're trying to get isn't there. That would make a lot of sense. Another thing I found interesting was her idea that I'm too logical for love. They say women are emotional, but I'm not emotional. I'm too logical. Girl, the men are logical. That's perfect. You are logical. They are logical. You should be getting along with them better than the girlies who are emotional. This is great. That is great news. I think that it will be so much easier for you to find a partner because you already think logically. You already think like them, or at least you think you do. You can think logically as a woman, and that is absolutely amazing. Men tend to like women who are logical. So them not liking you enough to be in a relationship means that maybe the logical thinking isn't the problem. Maybe it's the first thing that you stated. Maybe it's the crazy. Because again, crazy, common sense, don't correlate. Crazy, logical, also doesn't correlate. Neither one of those things makes sense, babe. I'm not here to talk down on you. I'm just make it make sense for me. Use that common sense that we said we have so much of. We cannot be crazy, have common sense, and be logical all at the same time. And like you said, sometimes we're delulu here, and sometimes, we're logical here. And those ups and downs are the exact same reason we're struggling to find a stable partner. That sounded so mean. I'm sorry. I really do want you to find whatever it is that you want to find, truly. But maybe don't start off videos with I'm crazy on the internet. I think it might scare away potential partners.
Listen, I'm 28, about to turn 29 next month, and I've never dated. I've never had a boyfriend. And when I tell you that I feel like I'm going to have my one and only, I truly mean it. Like, I feel like I've felt this way my entire life. That's why I've never felt the rush to get into a relationship, or I've never had the huge desire of having a boyfriend or anything like that. Like, truly, I've felt such peace in being single because I've just felt like in my heart that I'm just going to have my one and only, and that's going to be it. And it's going to be so beautiful, such a beautiful story, such a beautiful testimony. And I'm going to be one of the very lucky and very few girls that has that kind of story of their one and only, even though it's taken me a long time. But it's going to happen. And again, I feel like I'm very, very lucky because a lot of girls, not sadly, but, just like their story, their journey of finding their person has been, a bunch of heartbreak, dating, lots of highs, lots of lows until they find their person. But with me, I'm like, I've just been here riding the wave, just cool, chill, relaxed. And then I'm going to have my moment of meeting this man that God has for me. And it's going to be so, so, so wonderful. So I feel so fortunate and so lucky to be one of the very few girls that has that kind of story, even though, yes, don't get me wrong, it definitely does get hard at times. And there are very, very random times, honestly, that I feel like discouraged or I feel slightly sad because it's like, wow, I'm this old. Is there something wrong with me? Like, I've never been in a relationship. I haven't been asked out. There's no cute guy that looks my way. Like, is there something wrong with me? Am I not pretty enough? All these things. But I'm very quick to just, dismiss those feelings because I know in my heart that God has the most incredible, wonderful man out there for me. So I don't even have to worry about that because I'm just going to meet him and it's going to be that, end of story, And that's just how I've been feeling lately. So, if I have to continue to wait a little longer, heck, I've been waiting for 28 years at this point. Like, what's a couple more years now, Like, it's not going to make any difference. And I truly have loved every single second of being single. And truly, I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't been single. my entire life, because it's allowed me to grow so much, to heal so much, to grow in my faith, most importantly, and to finally get to a point where I feel secure in myself, even though, yes, I do have my insecurities. But I feel like I'm at such a good point that also does come with age, but truly I owe it all to God and to growing in my faith and my relationship with Him, that I feel like I'm finally at a point where I can say, I'm ready. And it feels scary to finally say that, because it's like, oh, if I say that, it might be happening soon. So, those are my thoughts. Anyone else?
Oh, the Christian girlies. They leave me at a loss for words sometimes, because I understand, right? I understand where you're coming from, that you think, I'm just going to be one of those lucky people. That sounds really nice in theory, right? In practice, it sounds like you've never had practice in a relationship. It sounds like you've never had to compromise. It sounds like you've never had to get through an argument. It sounds like you've never had to have a difficult conversation and then work through it. It sounds like you've never been in a relationship. It sounds like we haven't done the things that are required for you to do in a relationship. So this idea that I'm just going to find the perfect person and everything is just going to work out, you're still going to have to do all of those things that I just listed. And now you have no experience doing those things. It might make doing those things a little more difficult, right? And I understand having faith. She is basically speaking life, speaking things into existence, that this is what she wants her life to be like. And my response to that is, sure, I hope that happens for you. I really do. I want the girlies to get what they want. Absolutely. But the amount of women that were also in your comment section saying, I hope this happens to me too. Statistically speaking, it ain't happening for all of you. So if you that recorded this video think that you are the special one, or if you watching this video think that you are the special one, people win the lottery all the time, every day. And you might just be one of those people. But if not, don't blame God, I guess.
Sometimes I be looking at like y'all couple pictures and y'all on vacations with y'all boo and whatever, and I just like, when the fuck is it going to be my turn? When the fuck is it going to be my turn? I just want to experience dating as an adult. I want to be courted as I should be. That's a very frustrated side, because like, I'm 25 and I've never had a boyfriend before. And I'm not trying to rush anything, but like, damn, bitch, when the fuck is gonna be my time? A bitch, at least, a bitch want flowers while she's alive. Like, damn, do a bitch gotta be dead to get fucking flowers? Like, I want to thoroughly planned out dates at a nice restaurant, steak, mashed potatoes, 1942 lemon drop, and, you know, a little text afterwards, you know, the good shit.
First things first, she's stunning. Hair, A1. Fabulous. Absolutely loved it. Even the makeup was nice. I thought that she was so pretty. Now, let's get into what we actually said. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be in a relationship. She is expressing on the internet that she wants that. She's never had it and she wants it. Where we get into a bit of a gray area is saying, I want to be courted as I should be. And as someone who's never been courted, as you claim in this video, what does that mean? What do you mean by that? What are we comparing it to? Are we comparing it to social media? Are we comparing it to movies and TV? Or are we comparing it to actual real life? I don't think that anything she said was out of the ordinary. If you want to go to a nice steakhouse for a date, go to a nice steakhouse. Get a lemon drop. Do all of the things. What I am saying, though, is if you've never had that, but that's what you want, but that's what you think being in a relationship is. So when someone offers you something and it's not that, are we going to say no? Because we're not being courted the way that we think we should be? And I'm not telling the girlies not to have standards or to lower their standards for men. Not at all. All I'm saying is steakhouse dinner, first date, probably not. Let's be for real, probably not. The economy is hard. Steak is expensive. People aren't doing that on a first date. Anniversary dinner, sure. I think people are doing that all the time. My biggest plight to the girlies is when we say things like, as they should, I want that. And you've never gotten any of these things, but you want all of these things. Supply and demand. Supply and demand is a little something that we learned in economics class. The supply is supposed to meet the demand, right? However, the girlies are demanding this and the men aren't supplying it. So what do we do now? Where do we go from here? Tell me in the comments. I don't know. Now, obviously, I did not set up my camera and get on YouTube just to tell people there's something wrong with you. No, not doing that per se. There may be something off with our mindset a little bit, because the common denominator in a lot of these videos is all of these expectations of, oh, here's what's going to happen when I meet my person, when I get courted properly, when I find a boyfriend, when I find a husband. All of these ideas from people that have no real life experience in this area is frightening. It's frightening. And I think that we just need to come back to planet Earth a little bit. As women, we tend to get a little delulu sometimes. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's not so much a good thing. In this case, I don't think it's so much of a good thing, because now we have all these expectations and no experience. So even if you do find that guy and he's wonderful and he's perfect, when you start dating him and then you get to realize here's all of the triggers that you have that you've never realized before because you've never been in a relationship long enough to realize them. Now he's perfect and you are just what? You? Hopefully that's enough. I hope it's enough. And that is all I have for you for today's video. So please tell me down in the comments below, have you ever been in a relationship? Do you have a friend that's never been in a relationship? And maybe you know why they've never been in a relationship, but you don't want to tell them? It's fine. Tell us in the comments. We would love to hear. If you are this person, an older woman, and I don't say old because I am in this age category of late 20s and on. If you are one of these women that is experiencing this and has never been in a relationship, please comment down below as well. We would love to hear why you think that is. Maybe you know something that we don't know. Regardless of if you've been in a relationship or if you haven't been in a relationship, just know relationships are hard. You probably won't get all of the things that you dreamed about in the movies. And even when you do, and there are occasions where you definitely do, it's not 100% of the time. There's a background to all of these relationships that people on social media are not showing you. So please always keep that in mind when you are looking at these Instagram couples and the pictures and the videos and them going on vacation. It's not all glitz and glamour. Everything that glitters is not gold. Okay? I will see you all in the comments down below, and I will also see you in the next video. Bye.